On this edition of the Journey to the Baja 1000, we are in Ensenada and trying to get through tech inspection. Thank you for joining us on this edition of the Journey to the Baja 1000. We are just in my garage for the last couple runs and maybe a couple test runs. We're trying to eliminate any of the gremlins that might catch us while we're down in Ensenada without our tools. So before we go down there, we just want to make sure nothing's leaking, nothing's overheating, all the electrical is working. We had to work through some gremlins, but it is running nice. Let's go ahead and check out these first pull out of the garage and the first drives. I think one of the coolest parts for me of this build is getting a chance to do a test drive and have my wife Michelle jump in the car with me, and it really can't be understated. I think the family sacrifice that goes on for everybody is you spend so much time building a car like this, and now we're down here in Mexico, and just the space they give us in time to fulfill some dreams. So thank you to Michelle and also to Julie, who's riding the car right now, and to see them come back with big smiles on their face after these trucks run real well, and it's just been really awesome. And we'll get the truck back here on the trailer, and we're ready to head out to Ensenada.
Blowing up right now. What's that sound?
Yeah. You can probably imagine the toughest part in any event like this is just getting in the truck and hitting the road. And here we go. We got the thing loaded up. We think we got all the tools we're going to need. The truck is running awesome. It is time to get to Ensenada and get to it. Just made it across the border into Mexico. We're on our way to Ensenada. Here we go. We are in Ensenada, and we are just now starting tech inspection. We're there. We just gotta get through tech inspection, and the dream of making it, at least for me, making it to the start line without being pushed is closer and closer. As we're pulling up, a couple little things, we can hear the power steering pumps making some whining, but the truck looks awesome. We're getting a lot of thumbs up. People are pretty impressed. So this is so killer. Here we go. All the way to the end, we'll turn around. Well, if you want to talk about dreams coming true, this is pretty much it for me. This is pretty awesome, a big life event. I've done other big events in my life. I've done Ironman, the whole swim, bike, run thing. I've done that 4 times. And this reminds me of that feeling you get at the very beginning where you go and look at the finish line before the race and you think about all the things that your body's going to have to go through to get you back to that finish line again, and the intensity that's going to happen over the next couple hours or next couple days. It is pretty amazing, and I cannot wait to try to get back to this point, or at least our last drivers to get back to this point, hopefully with a truck that has maybe some of the panels left on it. But a very cool moment to be here. I think we are going to be able to, we're getting close. We should be able to cross the start line without being pushed, and maybe just a little bit better. We'll see. Stay tuned.
Congratulations for being here. How did you decide to come here?
So in all the excitement of getting the truck ready, we're thrust into an interview, and this is a cool opportunity for me to get a chance to thank our sponsors. Industrial Power, Brian O'Neill, one of the co-owners, is out with us and has been helping me build the truck until 2 in the morning for the last couple of nights. They've also provided some funds to get us some fuel through Baja pits. Spotwalla, there's a link in our description where you can track our truck and also all of our chase crews during the entire race. Check out that link. Something that the off-road world might know about is Flyboys has what's called a pivot case to put your iPad in. It is the perfect case, super durable. We'll be testing that for the entire race. Thank you to the guys at Pint House from Austin providing us with beverages we'll be enjoying tonight in our last dinner. Bentech, super cool software. With Bentech software and an angle grinder, I have made the entire roll cage. Gaia has provided us some licenses to use for navigation for the entire race. Thank you to Rich and Rebecca Pryor, my parents, my dad and my stepmom, for providing some funds. The Whitaker family, the Bennett family, thank you guys so much for your friendship throughout the years. Also, really cool for the parents out there with kids, you want to get them outdoors, check out hikingbingo.com. There's a new app coming out where you're going to be able to take it out and do some really cool adventures with your kids. And you can see the link for that in the description also.
Cannot be here, so they can track you and see where your guys are going and all that. So thank you. And
So we roll off the ramp and into tech inspection, and we ace it. We passed tech inspection, and after so many hours and days of fabrication and trying to be so meticulous when it comes to safety and just getting it right with the roll cage, we have the sticker on the side of our car that says we are ready to race. Such a big event. It was so awesome. So Josh hops in the car with me as we're going to drive it back to into Ensenada, where our hotel is at, or where our VRBO is at. And we test the brakes a couple times. We were testing a little bit of the power, and then he looks over and he's like, dude, punch it. And here you go. All right, check it out. The truck is in its new temporary home in our place that we're staying at down here in Ensenada. And it is ready to go. It is race ready. There's a couple things we have left to do. We're gonna clean up some wiring, tidy everything up, make sure nothing's bumping around. We did a little drive last night, and you could smell something, almost smelled like, you know, maybe a wire laying on an exhaust manifold or something like that. But I think it's all ready to go. We're gonna do a really good look all throughout, make sure everything's torqued down. But how awesome does it look? It's looking killer. Let me just do a quick walk around. David put the side view mirror on. It looks killer. I think it's really cool. These guys found I kept the old fuel filler, and they painted that black. I think it looks really trick on there. Obviously, now, you saw my brother Jeff put these fenders on. Oh my gosh, they look so cool. He did such a good job mating those Chevy Silverado fenders to an old Jeep J10 metal, and then just fitting those up. I think they look totally trick. Ryan, who's been doing all kinds of sheet metal work, and the difference between his sheet metal work from the beginning to the end is epic. He's really learning how to do some good stuff there, and that was just something he whipped out really quick as our splash guard and our tire back here on the back. All the lights are working on this thing. We have obviously passed tech inspection, so everything is ready to go on this. It is amazing. So cool. Let me show you what we got going on inside the truck as this thing's finished out. Just a little bit more to do here as far as like tidying up wires. We left some extra space on the Stella, so you can see the wires are kind of hanging down. We're gonna go ahead and button all those up underneath. Got the intercom in there, and the intercom is tied into obviously our helmets, but then also it'll be tied into the ICOM radio there. So we'll be using that. All you have to do is if you want to transmit over the radio, you push the button and it'll transmit out. You'll be able to hear weatherman and everybody on the radio, and then it's just a overcome a squelch there to talk to each other. Besides that, like I said before, we're using the iPad. So the software we got going on this thing here is from Gaia. And you can see we're able to drop the maps out there, and Danny is inside right now, and he is going through and he is updating all the turn points, all the information that's been sent out by SCORE as far as like dangerous points and all that kind of stuff, or any speed zones. He's updating that on here, and totally he's totally user friendly, this software. Thank you to Gaia for giving us some software subscriptions to using this race. I think people are really going to take a look at what we're doing with that. Also, the mount for this, like I talked about, we're using the pivot case, and it is super cool. And everyone's got iPads, so for us being a budget truck, this is basically, you know, almost a freebie. You know, you just bring your iPad, bam, now we can click it in over here. And like I said before, this mount, as you can tell, it is not plastic. This is welded aluminum. This is really a stout piece. We've got one right here, and it looks like it's tight to the seat, but it's actually just in a perfect location. If you just want to orient it where only the passenger sees it, and he's the only guy who really needs to see that. I think we're going to put one more mount all the way up here in this corner, drill 4 holes to that gusset, and that's actually a really cool location too, especially if the sun angle is in a bad place. We can move that GPS over and then still be able to see it. It won't be washed out as far as the light there. They got these magnetic charge cords for it, so that they can be ripped out as many times as you want and they won't damage the iPad, and you can see when they're charging. So really trick addition there. Obviously fire extinguishers all over the truck. A couple of them back over here. Drive shaft. My brother Mike and Bear, they fashioned these mounts for our drive shaft and our jack. We'll see how the high lift jack works in these things, but if we got to change a tire, it's going to be an emotional event out there. But this thing is solid. I think you could pull the truck around by that thing. Let's go check out the other side. We'll check out the engine instruments that we got going on. We, again, budget truck. We didn't want to go and buy a whole bunch of expensive stuff. I put Speed Hut in my vehicles before. They get a little bit pricey, so we ended up going with this Edge CTS. I think it's a 3 or an Insight of 3 or something like that. But super cool little setup here where it just downloads all the stuff. It connects right to the OBD2 port. It's taken a while. I should have had this done before, but it'll just bring up the gauges. Really cool how this thing works. There we go. And then you can kind of swipe through which gauge you want to use. There we go. It's trying to do it. So it's loading up the editor. Anyway, super cool way to set up your gauges there, and it gives us everything. It gives us our engine temperature, our oil temperature, oil pressure, whatever basically you want. And this is the one we'll probably be running most of the time, where we're going to have our RPMs, speed, engine oil pressure, engine coolant temperature, engine oil temperature. You got your transmission fluid temperature. We might change some of them because on there, because we like to see if we can't figure out have it tell us which gear we're in, because the shifter, you really can't tell. You can just kind of tell by feel of the car and all that kind of stuff. But it'd be nice to see a drive, neutral, reverse kind of thing on there. So we're gonna work on that a little bit today. I got the low car shifter in there. That's working pretty good with a 6L90. And it has a tap up, tap down feature, but I didn't have the pin on the back of the transmission to make the tap up, tap down work. And I might be able to do that next year if this engine survives, or if the transmission survives this, which is in question. It's gonna take a beating, so we'll see what we have at the end of the race there. Besides that, got Willwood brakes all plumbed up down here, and they are solid. We were testing it last night, getting it up to speed, and just full brakes, and it just locks them all up. A little heavy. I'm going with a 1-inch bore on these. If I could go back, I'd probably go with a 7/8 inch bore and get a little bit more throw and with a little less pressure required. But all in all, it is working awesome. So that's the truck. Man, we are here and we are ready to go. This is so cool. Race starts tomorrow.
Toast to Richard Pryor, aka Bad
Beep. It is so cool to be here with these guys as they're making a toast to my dad with fighting the pancreatic cancer. He couldn't be here with us. The guy giving the toast is my buddy Denny. I've known him for 30 years. Next to him, my neighbor Ryan, such a great dude and a new addition to the team. Jimbo, right next to him, I've been friends with him 30 years. Danny's been working on our computers. What a great dude. Sea-Dog back there, one of the co-owners of Industrial Power, and been working with me the last couple of nights. Thank you so much for being out here, and such a great sponsor. Josh, one of the new guys on our team, and definitely becoming one of our chief mechanics on the team. Bear, our Eagle Scout, such a great dude. You can count on Bear to be there for any time you ask him to. My brother Mike has been a supporter of mine just since we were kids. Such a great dude. He's my stepbrother, but we call each other brothers ever since. His wife right next to him, Bailey, one of the most likable people on earth. Angela's been our graphics person, taking over our Facebook page next to her. Thank you so much for all the help. And her husband, David, who just anything you give him, he knocks it out, especially in this last couple days of the build. Such a great team, and I think about these guys and the gravity of the fact that we're about to put people in danger. We're about to go out into the desert, into the wild, and race this truck and try to get to the finish line. And I take that very seriously. I know our spouses take it very seriously. We're trying to be very responsible. We're all older folks, more mature, and the goal is just to get everybody back after having a great time and not injure anybody. That is our primary focus here. Such a great team. I'm so blessed. We have passed tech inspection. We've passed all the different checkpoints. We are now ready to race the Baja 1000. It is go time. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of the Journey to the Baja 1000. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell to get notification of future videos. All right, one last big deal item and a request. We are donating to Movember. And what that is, it is a group that focuses money towards and donations towards men's health issues around the world. And you can think about all the things that men face that are unique to us. And we're trying to send a donation out to those guys. We will match $500. If you go to my description, you will find a link for a Facebook page, which will allow you to donate under our name to Movember. Again, we're going to match $500. 100% of that will go to Movember and try to help out men globally with the issues that we face. Thank you.